Albert Fish, born in 1870 in Washington, D.C., is one of America's most notorious serial killers and cannibals. His criminal activities span decades, culminating in the 1930s. Fish's childhood was marred by abuse and instability, factors that contributed to his later deviant behavior. He committed numerous heinous acts, including murder, cannibalism, and torture, targeting vulnerable children. One of his most infamous crimes was the abduction and murder of 10-year-old Grace Budd in 1928. Fish deceived the Budd family, pretending to offer Grace a birthday party invitation. Instead, he brutally murdered her, later boasting about his actions in horrifying letters to the girl's parents, which ultimately led to his capture.
Albert Fish, born Hamilton Howard Fish in 1870, stands out as one of the most disturbing figures in criminal history due to his gruesome acts of murder, cannibalism, and torture. His life's narrative is a chilling tale of depravity and horror. Fish's early years were marked by extreme hardships, including abandonment and abuse in an orphanage, which many believe shaped his later behavior. His family had a history of mental illness, which may have contributed to his psychopathology. Over the years, Fish escalated his criminal activities, indulging in sadomasochism, cannibalism, and the murder of several children. He used various methods to lure his victims, often preying on the most vulnerable. The most notorious of his crimes was the murder of 10-year-old Grace Budd in 1928. Fish responded to an ad placed by Grace's brother seeking employment and convinced the family to let him take Grace to a supposed party. Instead, he took her to an abandoned house where he murdered and cannibalized her. Fish was arrested in December 1934 after sending a graphic letter to the Budd family detailing his crime, which led the police to him. His confessions revealed a series of other horrific crimes, including the murders of Francis McDonnell and Billy Gaffney. Fish's trial in 1935 was a sensation, revealing his twisted motivations and claiming he was commanded by God to kill. He was found guilty of the murder of Grace Budd and sentenced to death. On January 16, 1936, Fish was executed in the electric chair at Sing Sing Correctional Facility. Albert Fish's life story is a stark reminder of the depths of human depravity. His heinous crimes have made him a subject of study in criminal psychology and a figure of infamy in American criminal history. His case continues to horrify and fascinate those who study the most extreme aspects of criminal behavior. Letters to the family. Fish's decision to send a detailed, graphic letter to the Budd family, describing what he did to their daughter, is chillingly unique. This act of cruelty not only confessed to his crime but also tormented the family with the explicit details of their daughter's fate. Culinary delusions. Fish's delusion that God was instructing him to consume human flesh, combining religious fanaticism with cannibalism, adds a peculiar and horrifying dimension to his psyche. Needle insertion. During examinations, X-rays revealed that Fish had inserted needles into his groin area, some of which were embedded so deeply they could not be removed. This self-harm indicates an extreme level of masochism. Elderly predator. Unlike many serial killers who peak in their younger years, Fish was in his late 50s when he committed the murder of Grace Budd, showcasing a rare instance of an older individual engaging in such extreme criminal behavior. Wide range of victims. Fish's victims varied widely in age and gender, demonstrating a lack of a specific type that many serial killers exhibit. His indiscriminate selection based on opportunity rather than a particular preference adds an unpredictable and erratic aspect to his criminal profile.